Hello there, amazing grade 5 learners! It's going to be another English fun day of learning. Yes, you heard it right. Learn and have fun with Teacher Van. Come and join me, but please make sure to have with you your pen, paper, and learning packet before we begin. Learners, let us set our goals up for today's lesson on summarizing various text types based on elements. I am pretty sure you are as excited as I am for today's lesson.
We have here a story about Mario and his school principal. Together, let us find out what it is all about. And after we have finished reading the text, let's try to summarize it. But before that, let us have in mind these steps and reminders in summarizing a text. Read, listen, and understand the whole text. Identify the basic elements such as the characters, setting, theme, and plot. Use your own words. Keep your summary short or brief. Did you get it, children? Read silently and listen attentively as I read to you the story. Compare and analyze the summarized text from the original text. Let's start!
Mario's story. Mario stood calmly by the door of the principal's office while waiting for his teacher. He looked farther to check on his advisor if she would be coming because she was nowhere. After a few minutes, a spectacled man was inside. He was the principal. Mario told the principal about the purpose of his visit. He made his statement clear why he brought his cell phone to school. He told the principal that his classmates shouted at him in their classroom telling him that cell phones are not allowed. He felt weak explaining his reason for doing it. He told the principal that it hurt him to have violated a school policy, but doing this made him feel secure to text or call up his sick mother at home. He told the principal that he was sorry for doing it, but it hurt him because his purpose was his concern for his sick mother. The principal patted the apologetic pupil on the shoulder and then spoke kindly to him. Summary. While waiting for his advisor to come, Mario visited the principal's office. His purpose was to explain why he had brought his cell phone to class. Earlier, his classmates noisily reminded him that bringing up cell phones in school was not allowed. Nevertheless, Mario told the principal that it hurt him to violate the school policy, but he had to do it. He said that he felt secure to text or call his mother who is sick. Then, the principal just patted Mario and spoke to him kindly.
How did you find the story? If you were Mario, would you do the same? Did I hear you say yes? Exactly! Are all the basic elements of the original text present in the summary? Yes, that's correct. Were the events in the summary written in the correct order? Yes, very good. Did the writer of the summary use his or her own words to retell the events? Or did he or she just copy the text? You were right. The writer used his or her own words and he or she did not copy the text. Which was written shorter, the original text or the summary? Nicely done! It is the summary which was written shorter. Is it a good summary? Yes, excellent! Kids, I know you are now ready for a task. Read silently and listen attentively as I read the story. Tell which among the two is a good summary. Here's your first practice task.
Please be guided with this scoring rubric in doing your practice tasks. We have the following criteria to be considered in summarizing. First to be considered is the important events, followed by the story elements, and lastly, the word choice. In order for you to get a score of 4 under important events, the summary should include only the important events in the story. 3 points if the summary includes important events and some other unnecessary ones. 2 points if the summary includes only a few events from the story. And 1 point if most of the events in the summary were copied from the story. For the story elements, you will get a perfect score if the summary shows a clear awareness of the characters, setting, theme, and plot, and if the changes made to the order of events led to a clear summary. 3 points if the summary shows an awareness of the characters, setting, theme, and plot, and if the events from the story are included in order. 2 points if the summary shows an awareness of the characters, setting, theme, and plot, but may contain minor inaccuracies. And 1 point if the summary lacks awareness of the characters, setting, theme, and plot, and contains major inaccuracies. The last thing to be considered is your word choice. 4 points will be given to you if the summary was clearly written and chosen words express ideas concisely. 3 points if some of your chosen words as well as the construction of ideas made reading the summary a little difficult. 2 points if most of the chosen words as well as the construction of ideas made reading the summary difficult. And 1 point if your written summary has been copied directly from the text. Good luck, kids! Give it your best shot!
The Quails and the Quail Catcher. The quails had a problem. They lived in great fear of a quail catcher who would throw a net over them, then put them in a basket. One day, the wisest quail said, "Listen, brothers, I have a plan. When the quail catcher throws his net over us, let us put our heads through the mesh in the net and fly away." It was a very bright idea. All the quails must be happy about it. They all agreed, and so, when the quail catcher came the next day, the quails did as the wise quail told them to do. The quail catcher had a hard time taking the net from the thorn bush. Summary A. The quails had a problem. They lived in great fear of a quail catcher who would throw a net over them, then put them in a basket. One day, the wisest quail said, "Listen, brothers, I have a plan. When the quail catcher throws his net over us, let us put our heads through the mesh in the net and fly away." It was a very bright idea. All the quails must be happy about it. They all agreed, and so, when the quail catcher came the next day, the quails did as the wise quail told them to do. The quail catcher had a hard time taking the net from the thorn bush. Summary B. The quails had a problem. They fear a quail catcher who throws a net over them and puts them in a basket. One day, the wisest quail had a plan. He told everyone that when the quail catcher throws a net over them, they would put their heads through the net, fly away, drop the net on a thorn bush, and then escape. When the quail catcher came the next day, they did what was planned, so the catcher had a hard time taking the net from the thorn bush.
Can you tell which among the two is a better summary? If you answered summary B, you got it right. Summary B is better because the steps and reminders were followed accordingly. It is short, but all the basic elements like the character, setting, theme, and plot are present. Own words were also used. To those learners who did not got it right, you don't need to worry. You can still rewatch this video and practice more. I know you can do it! This time, we will have another task. I am going to read another story and you are going to summarize it following the steps and reminders given to you earlier. Here is the story.
The Boy Who Became a Stone, a Chaldean Folktale. One day, a little boy named Alonin set out in the yard making a bird snare. As he worked, a little bird called to him, "Tick, tick, Alonin, come and catch me." "I am making a snare for you," said the boy. But the bird continued to call until the snare was finished. Then Alonin ran and threw the snare over the bird and caught it. He put it in a jar in his house while he went with the other boys to swim. While he was away, his grandmother grew hungry, so she ate the bird. And when Alonin returned and found that his bird was gone, he was so sad that he wished he might go away and never come back. He went out into the forest and walked along a distance until finally he came to a big stone and said, "Stone, open your mouth and eat me." And the stone opened its mouth and swallowed the boy. When his grandmother missed the boy, she went out and looked everywhere hoping to find him. Finally, she passed near the stone and it cried out, "Here he is!" Then the old woman tried to open the stone, but she could not. So she called the horses to come and help her. They came and kicked it, but it would not break. Then she called the carabaos and they hooked it, but they only broke their horns. She called the chickens which pecked it, and the thunder which shook it, but nothing could open it, and she had to go home without the boy.
Are you done? Very good.
Summary. Alonin lived with his grandmother. One day, he was making a bird snare. Then suddenly, a small bird appeared and challenged Alonin to catch it. He quickly finished making the snare and ran behind the bird. After a while, he was able to trap the bird and put it inside a large jar. One day, while Alonin went out with his friends for a swim, his greedy grandmother ate up the bird. When Alonin returned home, and came to know that his bird was missing, he was heartbroken. He ran away from the house. On his way, he came across a stone and asked it to eat him up. The stone was magical and did as it was asked to. Meanwhile, his grandmother started searching for Elonen everywhere. While walking past the stone, she heard it say, "Your grandson is inside me." She begged the stone to return her grandson, but Elonen remained inside the stone forever.
You are now on for your final task. At this point, you are going to read the story and summarize it considering the steps and reminders presented in this lesson.
Learning from an afflicted man. Leo is the mayor's son. Almost every day, he watches people visit his father at their residence. They see the mayor for various reasons. One day, a man in his 50s came to seek the mayor's help. He was suffering from some kind of physical defect. He could not sit. He simply stood there in front of the mayor. As he was talking in a halting manner, his hands and his head were shaking. His eyes were blinking faster than normal. All of these were seen by Leo. As soon as the visitor left, Leo asked his father what the man wanted. As he talked, Leo was mimicking the visitor amusingly. The manner of speaking, the way his body shook, and the blinking of the eyes. "Leo, the afflicted man has already been suffering badly. It becomes worse if other people make fun of him as you did moments ago. Be thankful, son, that you are not sick," his father said. Shamefully and remorsefully, Leo answered, "I'm sorry, father. I promise I will never do that again." Summary. The mayor's son, Leo, grew up watching his dad being visited by people for many reasons. A man in his 50s with a physical defect unexpectedly visited the mayor asking for his help. He is talking in a halting manner while his hands and his head shaking and his eyes blinking faster than normal. Leo made fun of the man's unusual habits and behavior right after he left. The mayor told him that the afflicted man was already suffering and it will become worse if other people will make fun of him like what Leo did. He also told Leo to be thankful because his imperfect condition. Leo shamefully and remorsefully apologized to his father and promised not to do it again.
Today, we have learned more about summarizing various text types based on elements. Yes, we did. And I know you can still remember the steps and reminders in summarizing. Read, listen, and understand the whole text. Identify the basic elements such as the characters, setting, theme, and plot. Use your own words. Keep your summary short or brief. My beloved learners, that's all for now. I hope you have learned a lot on summarizing various text types based on elements. This has been another day of thinking, enjoying, doing, and learning. Again, this is Teacher Vanessa Zaira. See you all next time. Bye!